like Wednesday. We'll do whatever you want to do. That's the point. Yeah. I brought ice with, and I have a little, because that last thing broke, so I've got a small plastic dish that'll be where we'll crush the cans.
Right. Schloop. Captain D's. Kelly Tires. Tire and Auto Service. Is that where we're flying?
Mm-hmm. Can crushing. This is the ice. Take that.
Ice on.
All right, Henry. What do you want to carry? Can we carry this?
The young.
And maybe the. Oh, you already got the ball.
Why do you go in?
Yeah. There's an emissions desk, I think. My name is Bob Swanson, Stormin Bob Swanson, the singing weatherman, and I write songs and perform them for children. Songs about science, mostly weather, but some astronomy. And I've been writing and performing science music for kids since about the year 2000. I'll bring my power strip out. Check. Ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. How hot is it? It's so hot. Well, it's so hot. I know my friend who's my friend. Welcome to Jason. Like that way with my thing was not a thing.
Stormin Bob, and I'm going to turn it over to you. So,
all right. Thank you. Y'all hear me? All right. Most of you can probably hear me because I've got a loud voice. My name is Bob Swanson, and I am a singing weatherman. I'm a little bit of background. I am from Starkville, Mississippi. I teach at Mississippi State University. So we're on break this week. That gives me a chance to come out and talk about science to a great-looking group. I teach in the Department of Physics and Astronomy, but once upon a career ago, I was a TV weatherman. I did TV weather for 5 years in various stations across the country. I worked for USA Today, the nation's newspaper. I did the weather page for them for about 4 years. So my background is in meteorology, and well, you can probably tell I love weather. I got this really cool weather jacket, right? My wife made this for me. It's got a big blue H on the right lapel here. What does that big blue H stand for? Anyone know? High pressure. And this L stands for low pressure. I'll be talking a lot about high and low pressure today. What else do I have? I've got a thermometer coming out of my pocket here. It's some raindrops falling on some beautiful flowers. Now I teach astronomy at Mississippi State, and so my wife put on some stars, and she put a beautiful crescent moon on my pocket here. She put a rainbow on my right shoulder. She put my American Meteorological Society seal of approval on my left shoulder. And on the back, of course, I've got a big old storm cloud, right? And it says storminswanson.com. That's my website, so if you want to learn more about me, you can check me out there. And what else is falling out of my storm cloud? Music notes. Because not only do I talk about weather, but obviously I sing about weather. And that's how we'll start things out today. I get a chance to do a little kind of part-time job, do some science outreach, and also the boys get involved with it as well.
So great, yeah. Thank y'all. My little guy and my 5-year-old daughter here as well.
Nice. Well, this is a great crowd.
Did you say thank you?
It's probably a little bit over his head at this point. But
Well, he
in a
was
couple of
dancing.
years. Yeah.
And fake laughing when everyone else was laughing. So.
Well, I forgot the other joke, Nate. I usually talk, after I do the shot back, I talk about that demonstration being so exhausting.
Yep.
I forgot it. I was I think I always liked to sing. As a kid, I would do a lot of singing, and by the time I got to high school, actually even before high school, I was in 6th grade. I was cast in an operetta called Ghost Towns Never Die, and I sort of had one of the lead singing roles. I think because the director, she went to our church, and so she sort of knew that I could sing pretty well. So I guess I enjoyed that stuff, but I never really thought about it as a career, even part of my career. I went off and I studied science and wound up becoming a teacher, but I later realized that my stage experience, just being an actor, was a great experience in preparation for my teaching career, because the teachers are performers. They're in front of an audience, and quite often it's an unwilling audience, and so they've got to be dynamic, and they've got to be able to capture and maintain the attention of their audience. But then, after teaching a couple of years, a student mentioned, that I was teaching a bunch of 9th graders, and I asked them what they wanted to do for a living. And one of my students said he wanted to be a TV weatherman. And I thought, gosh, that's interesting. I always had it in the back of my mind, I would love to get into broadcasting. And I thought, what person on the TV news has a lot of science background? It's the weatherman. And so, oh gosh, I have this science background, I have this passion for broadcasting. Let me try to be a TV weatherman. I started in weather. I studied meteorology at Penn State University and got a master's degree, and started doing television weather in the fall of 1999, and got a full-time job in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And that's kind of when I started to merge the two worlds of weather and music. I'm not a professional musician. I was a hobbyist musician. I like to play guitar. And part of the job of being a weatherman is going out and speak to local schools. And so one of my first appearances was for a group of preschoolers in Rogers, Arkansas. And I had been a teacher in a previous career, but had never dealt with the pre-K set. And it was a whole new experience for me, and they got quickly tired of me, and I was kind of tired of them after about 5 minutes. And so I decided to somehow spice up my act, because I knew I'd be doing a lot of these performances just as part of station outreach. And so I picked up my guitar and thought, let me just try to write a song. And started to take those out to the classrooms, and before long, it started to catch on. I had librarians and teachers calling the TV station, and they didn't want just any meteorologist. They may not have known my name at that point, but they wanted the guy with the guitar. They wanted the singing guy. And so I started doing a lot of performances. I was doing, at my height, probably 80 to 90 performances a year. So that's kind of how I got started with the merging of the weather and the music. So have you had is this the first of the season?
It's the first, you're
Okay.
the first.
Kicking things off.
And Bible school's going on in a few places, so that might interfere with attendance a little bit, but it might be a bit too bad.
So how long have you been here, Mary?
About 14 years.
Oh wow.
And you got finished over here, I'm gonna lock this door, because I need them to come in that other one.
Right, okay. Yeah, I will
And then when
eventually.
y'all get ready to leave, we can unlock.
Right, okay.
Is there anything in particular I need to put in the newspaper about you?
Gosh, are you the newspaper person?
I'm
as well?
everything.
You're everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do have part-time cleaning lately. Thank goodness. I couldn't do it
So
without.
which news? The Webster
Western
County?
Progress.
Interesting.
I know you're already in there from the other program we did down there.
Okay.
But we're gonna do it again.
Right, yeah, so I teach Mississippi State, and this is what I do in the summertime.
Oh,
I teach in the physics and astronomy department at State, and in the summertime we go around and play library.
cool.
What's worse than raining cats and dogs? Or maybe I should ask, what does it mean when we say it's raining cats and dogs? What does that mean?
It means it's raining cats and dogs.
You're very literal. Okay, all right. It means it's raining really hard, right? That's the expression, raining cats and dogs means it's raining really hard. Well, what's worse than raining cats and dogs?
Raining hard.
Stepping in a poodle?
A thunderstorm.
Stepping in a poodle? Get it? It's a joke. It's a joke that actually I read a bunch of years ago, and there's actually another punchline. So one punchline is it's raining stepping in a poodle is worse than raining cats and dogs. The other one is what's worse than raining cats and dogs? Hailing taxis. Hailing taxis. Because when you go to the city and you want to catch a cab, you say, "Hey, taxi!" That's called hailing a taxi. But can you imagine cars falling out of the sky during a thunderstorm? That would be hailing taxis as well.
That would be horrible.
And so I actually, when I read that joke, I thought, I need to work that into a song, and so I did. I wrote a song called How Hot Is It? And for this song, I'm going to play my harmonica again, and I'm going to play my guitar, and we're also going to get some help from my son Nate over there on the drums. He's going to give me a little rhythm for How Hot Is It? Now, How Hot Is It is another audience precipitation number. You're going to help me out. So I'm going to sing How Hot Is It? And I want you to sing back, How hot is it? And I'll sing It's so hot. And I want you to sing back, It's so hot. Okay? Can you handle that? All right, let's try it, Nate. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How hot is it?
How hot is it?
It's so hot.
It's so hot.
Well, it's so hot that my dog's my French poodle is now French fry. Uncle Jason flips like legs of a bedwetting brother's finally dry. Anything with jalapeno has been taken off the menu down at the Not So Chili's restaurant. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, it's so hot. How cold is it?
How cold is it?
It's so cold.
So cold.
Well, it's so cold, so I am told the spoon was now skating in the ring. For Harry Potter isn't getting any hotter, and all the polar bears are wearing me. Even the Eskimos have stopped rubbing noses because they are afraid they might get stuck. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, it's so cold. How wet is it?
How wet is it?
It's so wet.
It's so wet.
Well, it's so wet and it's raining yet the sun seems to be playing hide and seek. The yellow school bus is turning to rust. Dad hasn't touched him over in a week. The only thing that makes me feel more drab than raining cats and dogs is hailing cabs. Oh, it's so wet. Oh, it's so wet. Well, it's so dry, so ask me why, but I can chuck a can of Coke smooth as silk. Farmer Joe just butters it, can't make any butter because he utters in his cows get powdered milk. Of madness, my poor dad is on the brink, because the sprinklers on the lawn no longer spring. Oh, it's so dry. Oh, it's so dry. Oh, it's so wet. Oh, it's so cold. Oh, it's so hot. How hot is it? Oh, it's so hot. All right, very good. You guys know a lot about. When I was doing television, I had a platform. People knew who I was. They knew I did this Stormin Bob Swanson persona. And so they would call the station, and it was no problem getting plenty of performances. But of course, that was part of station outreach. And so once I left television, then I didn't have the same platform. And so back in 2018, I finally decided, we had been living in Mississippi for a number of years, and I was at that point sort of settled into my job, and I've got 3 children, I've got 3 boys, and they were getting a little bit older, so the caretake of infants and toddlers was not quite the same. So I decided I would just start emailing libraries to see if they'd be interested in my show, because I knew the summer reading programs were looking for programming, and especially because my program is both entertaining and educational. I call it edutainment. It would kind of fit into the STEM emphasis that a lot of libraries were looking for. They're looking for science, content, and technology, et cetera, et cetera. And so mine certainly fills that bill.
So we'll write her name down on 2.
We have to start packing the second extension cord, the drum kit. When we're in a situation like this where the outlets are few and far between. See what you sound like. Jalapeno has been taken off the menu down at the Not So Chili's restaurant. How's that?
That's good.
Done. Take down so you can hear everything?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Let's not play too much because it is a library. We're all the way upside down? Can you tell why it's called rain stick? Sounds like rain, right? So this is going to be a part of this song where I'm going to sing about rain. I want you to play rain stick solo for me, okay? Alright, so this is the weather riddle song. What could ever be better than sit with my friends and sing about the weather? Let's all sing it all together. Show them know about the weather. They can be white and fluffy on a sunny summer day. Dark and gray and scary when a storm is on the way. If you know what I'm talking about, then shout it out loud. White and fluffy on a sunny summer day that rhymes with loud. When it falls from the sky, dirt turns to mud. When it falls too much, it might cause a flood. When it falls on the weekend, it can be a real pain. Rain stick solo, Ian. Good. Many things are white, like sugar, salt, and cotton. Milk and people, lots of things I probably have forgotten. But the white that falls in winter is something that I know. Ice comes in handy at the skating rink. It also tastes great in an ice cold drink. But ice can fall from the sky in a windy gale. Yeah, good. It has a shape like a funnel and has very strong winds. You better head for cover when you see it start to spin. If you're an artist, you can probably even make one out of Play-Doh. It has a flashlight camera when you get your picture taken. And if it gets too close, it can leave you sort of shaking. And the thunder that follows can be pretty frightening. Here comes the tough one. It forms in the tropics and it heads for the coast. The Gulf inside the southeast tend to get hit the most. It's got an eye and a wall and each one has a name. Hurricane. What could ever be better than to sit with my friends and sing about Show what we know about weather. All right, thank you, Ian. Big hand for Ian. I appreciate it. All right, have a seat. Thank you. All right. So air can exert force. It can exert pressure. And I'm going to try to, if that wasn't convincing enough, I'm going to try to convince you by using these cups here. These cans. I've got a couple of cans here. And in my cans, I put a little bit of water. And I'm boiling that water. I'm creating water vapor. So I'm going to have water vapor molecules inside the cans, zipping around, punching the walls of the can outward. Out here in the room, I've got plenty of air molecules that are punching inward. They're both exerting pressure. In fact, the pressure is the same. The force outward is the same as the force inward, and the cans have the shape they do. However, I'm going to turn the cans upside down in a pan of cool water. I'm going to make that water vapor condense back into liquid water. I'm going to have nobody inside to punch outward. I'm going to create an area of low pressure inside the can. Out here in the room, plenty of air molecules. High pressure. We'll see what happens when I've got high pressure and low pressure close together. Dig? Let's give it a shot, shall we? All right, Diet Coke, your time to shine. Cross your fingers, hold your breath. Whoa! A scrawny dude like me just crushed that can without using my hands. I used the atmosphere, 14.7 pounds of force for every square inch. Wasn't that neat? Did you miss it the first time? Want to see it again? Yay! Good thing I brought 2 more cans, right? Yeah, I kind of live the life of an independent musician. I don't have a record company behind me. I do most of the booking and such on my own. So I usually start contacting libraries over the winter. You know, it's a summer reading program, but it's the winter time when they're starting to put their schedule together. And so I'll send out an email describing my program and talking about my needs and that sort of thing. Usually in the wintertime, December, January, I'll start sending out some emails, and once I started getting some responses from the libraries, then we come up with the schedule. I decide which shows and what days the shows will be on, and I try to arrange them so that they don't require either too much travel, or if I have to travel a long way, I try to group the performances to make little mini tours, so I don't have to do a bunch of day trips, long distances. I think ultimately I enjoy actually performing. I think most people that are in the performing arts, they like being the center of attention, and so that's for me the performance aspect. And I love a live audience. I love getting the response from the kids and seeing how much they're enjoying the show and how excited they are about some of the demonstrations I do when I crush cans, or I show them a weather balloon, or I make a tornado in a box. And of course then singing my songs, and a lot of my songs are interactive, so I love the fact they get up and dance, or we do a call and response number or something of the sort. That's one thing I really enjoy about the process. But I enjoy the rest of it as well. I enjoy making contact with the librarians and booking a show at a library I've never been to before. And I enjoy having my family involved. For years now, it's become sort of a family project, and there's not a whole lot of part-time jobs where people can get their entire family involved. And so I've gotten a chance to see my kids get more involved with the program over the years. And when we first started doing it, they would help me in the show, and they would do some of the demonstrations with me, and my wife would help with the merchandise table. But now the involvement has changed a little bit. Now I've got a couple of my boys are playing instruments as part of the show, and they can run the merchandise table on their own. They know how to set the show up, and they know how to tear the show down, and so it's been a really fun experience to like I said, have a part-time job that involves your family is a lot of fun.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, Patsy.
How are
Good
you
to see you
doing?
again.
You too, yes, okay.
This is my son Daniel.
Has he grown up or what? He's grown up. Wow.
When was the last time I was here?
It's before COVID,
Right, it was
wasn't it?
either 2018 or 2019, or maybe both.
Okay.
I can't recall. But yeah, he's much taller now.
Lay this right here before I forget it, because I'll get
Thank
busy
you.
and
Thank you.
do all that. Okay, well, great, yes.
Great seeing you again.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've had a great turnout so far.
Oh, yes. Which is great, you know, that's good. We've had, I think our lowest was 115.
That's awesome.
So we're having a lot of kids, which is
Okay.
great. And a lot of them are more preschool, first, second,
Okay.
third. We have some that are fifth, maybe fourth, fifth graders, but mostly it's the younger kids. So you may have to talk about being quiet, let's listen, you know, because they get a little, but I'm just gonna do an introduction and then you take it over. And then after that, we'll leave here and go do our crafts and come back and we eat lunch.
Okay.
So, great.
Awesome.
Volunteer, so like I said, I know when the kid doesn't know how it works, they're like, yeah, I love looking at that face when they don't know how it works, they want to learn, you know.
So I play Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite. I'm sorry. You play Fortnite? You don't?
The guy in the black shirt beside the one who doesn't let
How many of you think that I can blow this big old yellow plastic bag up with one big old breath? Y'all think I can? Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, 3. That wasn't a very good effort, was it? Can I try it again? I'm kind of I had to get up pretty early and drive through a bunch of rain to get here. All right, let me try it again. I'm gonna warm up this time. All right, ready? Gotta be quiet. Gotta be quiet. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Now, I must admit, I cheated the second time. The first time, I blew the air from my lungs right into the bag. You saw how much air my lungs could hold. The second time, if you were watching carefully, I held it out. And when I did that, I created a fast-moving channel of air. So I blew the air from my lungs into the bag, yes, but I also created a fast-moving channel of air. And when you create a fast-moving channel of air, according to Bernoulli's principle, that's at low pressure. So I created low pressure air going into the bag. High pressure air here in the room moved toward the low pressure and it got shot in as well. Bernoulli's principle is why airplanes fly and curveballs curve. Really important. Like I said, it's been such a pleasure to do something that I think is benefiting the kids that come to the shows. But yeah, it certainly benefits me. Getting a chance to play music and have audiences, but also, like I said, have my family involved in the process has just created wonderful memories for me that I'll cherish those forever. One thing I try to do is I try to keep my content fresh, and one thing that's quite often I go back to a lot of the same libraries year after year, and one thing I try to do is I try to offer fresh content, and I try to match my program for that particular year with the theme of the summer reading program. So I change things. So one year I'll do a weather show, another year I'll do an astronomy show. I might come back again with the weather show again, but maybe with some new songs or with some new demonstrations, that sort of thing. So as long as I'm keeping it fresh and as long as it's fun for me, I'd like to keep on doing it. As long as the libraries keep on having me back, to me it's I guess you keep on doing something as long as you're having fun when you're doing it. When it stops being fun, like I said, it's not my main livelihood. It's a part-time job. So it's not something that I absolutely have to do to survive, but it's certainly something that I enjoy, and I would certainly miss it if I wasn't doing it. And we'll be repeating a lot of these steps, so if you get confused, look to Mr. Schuyler. He'll be on the right step. Hold on, Lynn. There. That was exciting. You can do it if you're big, you can do it if you little. It's not hard to do, it's not even a riddle. It might make you laugh, it could even make you giggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. Every wiggle. The first step is easy, one you all know, just pretend that you were shoveling big piles of snow. The second step is cool, it can never fail. Stomp your feet off the ground like falling down hill. Snow, hail. It might make you laugh, it could even make you giggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. The next step is noisy, and it's no wonder. Do your best to make the sound of lightning and thunder. And with lightning comes rain, which you can't live without. So make the rain the wash the spider from the water's spout. Snow, hail, lightning, rain. It might make you laugh, it could even make you giggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. Give the next step your best, cause we're getting near the end. Wave your hands above your head like you're blowing in the wind. The last step is fun, I don't think you missed. Just spin yourself around like a tornado or twister. Snow, hail, lightning, rain, wind, tornado. It might make you laugh, it could even make you giggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. Snow, hail, lightning, rain, wind, tornado. Might make you laugh, it could even make you giggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. Do the weather, do the weather, do the weather wiggle. All right, y'all can have a seat. Thank you so much, Mr. Schuyler. Appreciate your help. My name is Bob Swanson. Thanks so much.
I've got a group of friends, I know them by name. I see them every day, but they never look the same. No, they never look the same. I think I know why. They're always changing shape as they cruise across the sky. Some are cotton candy fluffy and puffy and cotton ball white. And if cumulus comes to mind, you're exactly right. I've got my head in the clouds. I guess it's always been there. See, I've got a fascination with the condensation up in the air. The silver lining's got a cloud. At least that's what I think they say. Got my head in the clouds, I guess I like it that way.
Did you miss it the first time?
No.
Want to see it again?
Yeah.
Yay! Good thing I brought 2 more cans, right? I was thinking ahead.